Nick Saban retired. Nick Saban. Man. Now, you knew it was coming eventually. You just didn't know. He didn't take the big victory lap, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate him not taking a big victory lap. But man, it just seemed like it came out of nowhere. Now, apparently, there were some rumblings that this was going to happen. But Nick Saban, greatest college football coach of all time. I mean, I don't know what the debate is. But I'll ask the question, who's better? In your all's eyes, on YouTube and on TikTok, if Nick Saban isn't the greatest, who is? Be prepared for me to battle back with you, though. Be prepared for me to battle back. Chip Kelly. Okay, so we're not being serious. Bear Bryant. Maybe. The one thing I'll say about Bear Bryant, and there's going to be people in there that are going to, oh, you're making it about race, blah, 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 blah. And nobody's making it about race. But Bear Bryant won a lot of his titles when everybody wasn't allowed to play, if that makes sense. Everybody wasn't being included in college football. And Bear Bryant won several titles when everything wasn't equal, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. I'm not saying he had an advantage over other places that did the same thing. I'm just saying, as far as college football, it just wasn't equal at the time. That's all. I mean, you can't argue that. It's not, oh, he's making it about race. Why are you bringing up race? I mean, it's just the truth. You know, facts are facts. Bobby Bowden. Yeah, I like Bobby Bowden, but not enough titles. Not enough titles to put Bobby Bowden on the same. Bobby Bowden won a lot of football games. Changed Florida State into basically being known as an all-girls school into a football powerhouse. Kirby Smart's not on that level. I will never say Joe Paterno. I will never say Joe Paterno. I know Joe Paterno did a lot of great things in his life, a lot of great things for Penn State University, for guys that played for him. But if all the reports are true, Joe Paterno allegedly allowed a pedophile to run around on his campus for 30 years. So I'm not trying to hear Joe Paterno in any shape, fashion, form, nothing. I don't want to hear it. So Tom Landry didn't coach college football or John Madden, so that's what we're talking about. College football. Let's see. My man Quiggle. Are you saying Bear Bryant had a lot of marshmallow guys? Now, I don't want to go and do anything like that, my man. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is everything wasn't equal. Everything just wasn't equal. Didn't play all the best competition. Lou Holtz, not enough titles to be in the conversation, but Lou Holtz is a great coach. Bobby Bowden, Austin, that's a good way to get blocked. So we're going to go ahead and do that for you because we don't do the pedophile thing in here. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but we ain't doing that in here. And that ain't funny. So if anybody wants to throw out Jerry Sandusky and be funny, be prepared to be blocked. We're not doing that nonsense. Tom Osborne. I had the pleasure of getting my head beaten in by a Tom Osborne team, his last team. Great coach, and is in that conversation. Here's another one, Barry Switzer. I know that might be before a lot of people's time, and a lot of people only remember Barry Switzer from the Cowboys. But as far as college coaches, Barry Switzer was outstanding at Oklahoma. Outstanding. So, Urban Meyer or Jimmy Johnson, they can be in the conversation. Not at the top level, though. Not at the top level. Lou Holtz, same thing. Not at the top level. Not enough titles for Lou Holtz. I mean, we're dealing with guys that got multiple national championships. And Lou Holtz doesn't have that. You know, there's plenty of guys that have multiple national titles. And, that's where Nick Saban is. Bear Bryant. You can even say Urban Meyer, Bobby Bowden. I mean, there's the list goes on and on. So, but we'll see. We will see. That's who I think is the great. Now, here's another part of it. Why did Nick Saban leave? Nick Saban, I'm sorry. Why did Nick Saban leave? I made a post about it. Go check it out on YouTube and on TikTok. Why did he leave? I mean, everybody's saying that, well, his wife was sick. I'm not even going to touch that. That's not our business. I don't even want to speculate on anything about that. A lot of people are saying he didn't want to deal with the changing times. I think there's a lot of truth to that. So I think there's a ton of truth. So as far as didn't like NIL, didn't like the transfer portal. I can get down with that. I agree. But let's dig deeper. Let's dig deeper, people. He's 60 or 72 years old. I mentioned this earlier. He's 72 years old. He's arguably known as the greatest football coach of all time. He's won 6 national titles. He has nothing to prove. He's filthy rich. Isn't it okay to just say, I'm done? Isn't that okay? I mean, why? I know that we look for the controversy and we sensationalize everything these days. But how many people, if at 72, are not retired? I mean, how many people do you know that are 72 years old that are not retired? I'm not saying there's not people that aren't. I'm just saying at 72 years old, if you personally, you on TikTok, you on YouTube, if you personally had more money than you could spend, were universally known that you were one of the greatest at your profession, you're 72, would you still be working? At 48 that I am, if those things were true about me right now, I would not be working. So much less being at 72. I think people got to start thinking about that. He's 72 years old. It's okay to just be, I'm done. Also, another thing, Alabama hadn't slipped. Alabama had not slipped. It'd be one thing if Alabama had won 7 or 8 games this year, lost 2 or 3 games to teams that were terrible or average. No. You could say this is one of his better coaching jobs because they didn't have like this crazy quarterback that was outstanding. They didn't have that. They didn't have just some crazy running back out there that nobody could stop or crazy offense or defensive line. They didn't have that. They didn't have any of that. And they were a play away from the national championship game. Beat Georgia, who is a team that a lot of people didn't think could be beat. Won the SEC championship. So that's all I'm saying, man. Nick Saban has earned the right to do whatever he wants. I don't think we should be looking to try to sensationalize the man's retirement. He's 72 years old. Ride off into the sunset, man. Ride off into the sunset. And we need to be happy with that. Stop looking, well, so I'm not even going to bring it up because I think it's stupid. Just, he wanted to quit. He didn't like the way college football was going. He doesn't want to deal with that. He left. He didn't have a stranglehold on recruitment anymore. I believe that. So, and he decided I can leave on top. We're not the national championship, but I can leave on top. Good for him. Good for him.